Hello and welcome to this new lesson in the Permission System section, in which we will discuss the topic of sharing documents with external users. To the organization, which means external to the organization's Office 365 account. We will therefore examine what the general rules are, meaning we will create objects dedicated to sharing with external users, to avoid complicating permission management within the SharePoint site. We will explore how to share with anonymous users. Anonymous, not in the sense that we are unaware of their identities, but in the sense that they lack a Microsoft account, nor Office 365 private accounts, the free version. How to share with authenticated users who have a Microsoft Office 365 or personal account. Next, we will see how to send a link without a message, which is probably the easiest way, but it is obviously about sharing a link that everyone can access later. And we will see what precautions should be taken. Then, once the document or files have been shared with external users, we will see how to manage access to this content. In other words, they can be reduced or increased. There may be more people who can access it. Access can be revoked for certain individuals. Next, we will also see how to grant restricted access to the site to guest users who can be managed by Outlook. Then we will create two of these objects that I was talking about. I was referring earlier to avoid complicating access management for our SharePoint site. We will create a collection of accounting documents, such as in this accounting folder. We will include some accounting documents that we will share with the accountant's office and with the labor consultant's office. But we will only share this folder with them, not all the documents which are part of the SharePoint site. Thus, functionally, this will open a secondary site relative to the main site, which is intended for training courses. This will be it. Accounting, which we will use, for instance, to manage content at the accountant's office, at the human resources consultant's office. In this case, we can also assign full control over this site, for example, because those who can access it will not see the content of the parent site for the training courses. So, let's begin by analyzing the general rules. Here we are only doing this on the slide, and of course for the others. As for the subject, we will, as usual, head to the SharePoint site to be operational. So we were saying that the general rules are about not complicating the management of permissions within the SharePoint site. The administrator can share documents with external users through the administrator or the global administrator. This option may have been denied. If the administrator or the global administrator has denied this option, even the SharePoint administrator will be able to share documents with external parties. Even less so, the SharePoint administrator can permit site members to make this share. In cases where permissions have been granted by the administrator or the global administrator, it is certainly beneficial to create appropriate document libraries. If we need to share documents with users, externally, as I mentioned earlier, with the accounting firm and the consulting firm, it is certainly good to collect documents, as I mentioned earlier. I can choose not to create a specific document collection or site. I can create a secondary site, as we saw in the previous lessons. In a SharePoint group where I can assign a certain level of permissions and then within it.